Hello. I am coming at you guys live from my kitchen because no one's home right now and I feel obligated to use the space as needed because it is a house. Anyways, so I recently have been on Studio Ghibli Badoogadoons binge, and I've basically watched like 80% of the films that have been released by the studio. I just need to watch a couple more, but like those are like the boring films, you know, like the ones that I look at and I'm like, I already know like this is not for me because it's about war and I don't like war, and it's about hetero people, like heterosexuals, like straights, male, female, male, you know, like cis. Yeah, not for me, dog. I don't dig that. But like some of them, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll put up with like, shit. What's the one that was about? I can't remember. It was the one with the dude that plays the violin and the girl that wanted to write a book. That one I kind of want to talk about that one in depth soon. But right now, I want to focus on the one I just watched. That was legit like 2 hours long, almost. But like it was like so boring, but so interesting at the same time that I have to talk about it because at this point, it's like the only thing I think about because I literally just watched it. So I watched what was it? I am so sorry. I literally just forgot. What is it called? Like it's like yesterday something. Like what was it called? It's called like yesterday. Not yesterday. Before yesterday. Only yesterday. Okay, so only yesterday. It's about this girl. I missed the first half because I was too busy scratching my butt or something. So I literally do not remember what the first, like, if there was like an introduction. But anyway, so there's like this like 28, 27-year-old like working woman that like gets like a summer job in the fucking like countryside. And she has to like work in the fields and shit for the summer. But she doesn't have to. She's not forced to. She's not a slave. She has her own free will and shit like that. So she goes into the fucking fields and fucking picks flowers for fun. Not for fun, she's getting paid, but you know what I mean, right? Like she's just out there to it's kind of like the fucking millennial thing to do. This movie is set in 1980 something. You can obviously tell because of the fucking jeans. Okay? Like if you watch it, you're like, "Okay, this is dated." No, but not like horribly dated. It's like you just know what the period is because of the fucking jeans. Anyways, I'm getting off track. But so basically she goes into like the fucking fields to work and shit, and then as she's traveling there, she's having flashbacks of her in 5th grade. And when I was watching it, I was like, okay, this is boring. Like I literally don't give a fuck. But the more I watched it, the more I was like, I was enthralled. I was gripped. And like it had me by my butthole. Like it had like one finger in my butt, like a bowling ball, and just shaking me around of just like how like boringly enthralling it was. So I want to break down like my thought process of why I think I found it so boring, but like so like investing at the same time, right? So I'm assuming it's because of how mundane it is. Because of how mundane it is, it doesn't seem fantastical as like the other movies that I have been watching from the studio, like Spirited Away, Howl's, whatever the fuck, like Moving Dickhole, I don't know. Like those two are very fantastical because it has a lot of like very magical elements to it, very fantastical, very out the world, magical, shit like that. But like with stories like the more grounded stories where there's not a lot of music, there's just ambiance, just really slow walking, really slow talking, really long dialogues, like them shits, like they get tedious. But the thing is, I watch everything at like 0.25 speed, 0.5 speed, regardless if I like the film or like whatever media I'm watching. I'm always watching that shit like at least 0.5 because except for South Park. South Park is one of those shows that every time I speed it up, I'm like, I can't do this. Like, this is too much for my brain. And that's probably why I watch everything in, like, faster speeds, because of South Park. Because South Park, besides, like, YouTube, is, like, the primary, like, entertainment. I put it on in the background with everything. When I'm cooking, South Park. When I'm doing my homework, South Park. When I'm drawing, South Park. Like, it's always South Park because I watch it so much that it's just like, it's literally just like my inner dialogue at all times. Which let me just say this. It's not racist in there. It's just literally Cartman just fucking being like, I'm okay, anyways, back to whatever. Okay, what was I talking about? So like the dialogue wasn't that horrible. Because I sped it up, but if it was like at normal speed, I feel like it would have been a snooze fest. But since I had it at my speed where my brain works like properly, I was like, okay, yeah, this shit fucks. I'm fucking with it. So I was watching it, right, and there was like this scene, and there's gonna be spoilers, obviously, if I'm fucking talking about the movie, right? So there's like there was a scene where their family was going out for dinner. And this is in one of her flashbacks. So this is the flashback to her in 5th grade. And her family was going to go to dinner. And then she was like throwing a fit because her sister wouldn't like give her like this enamel purse. And it was just this whole scene, right? And you know how kids are. Whenever they don't get something they don't want, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to go anymore." I was like that. I'm not going to sit here and chastise a child for doing exactly what I did as a dumb fucking kid, right? Like whenever like my family would go out to eat and like they would do something that would like insanely piss me off or like something like didn't go my way, like I literally would just throw a hissy fit and be like, I don't want to go anymore, right? And that happens, you know, it's just human temperament. But like in this movie, right, her parents like were like, are you sure you don't want to go? And then she was like, no, I don't want to go. And like deep down, I know exactly what her thought process was. It's like she wanted her parents to like be like, are you sure? Like, come on, let's just go. Like, come on. Let's like keep on like coddling her to the point where she just is babied into almost going. Like her parents are pleading her to go, but like her parents don't do that, obviously, because they're just parents, you know. So like, oh, you don't want to go? Fine, stay home. So that's what her parents do, right? And her dad, right? Her dad is like this typical Asian dad. I don't know how to explain it if you don't have like a typical Asian dad. It's just like those really quiet men. They just walk around and are often very strict and don't feel a need to explain themselves, but like are very caring in their own way, very fatherly, you know? And my father is exactly the same way. Like he's literally like, I don't know, like he's just my dad. I don't know how to explain it. He's just a fucking weirdo. Like I say weirdo as in a very affectionate way where it's just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with him half the time, but you know what? He's you know, like on my like spectrum of like hatred, he's like very low. Like I don't hate that man, like ever. Like I literally like, it's not like I don't feel anything towards him. I just like he's like tomatoes to me, right? Like I don't love tomatoes, but I don't hate tomatoes. Like tomatoes are like one of those things where I'm like, okay, I fuck with tomatoes like with ketchup or like pasta, but like most of the time I get like pasta alfredo. I don't get like spaghetti when I go out. So it's like that, but like I don't detest it, you know? Anyway, like the dad reminded me so much of my own father, just with like the mannerisms and stuff like that. And it's not like okay, let me try to explain the scene. Okay, anyways, I'm getting off track. I'll explain it a little bit. So yeah, the kid throws a fit, the girl throws a fit, and then her family leaves without her. And just as she steps out the door, she finally realizes that actually I don't want to throw this bitch fit, and I do want to go out with my family. So she runs out the door without her shoes on. And in Asian cultures, you take off your shoes when you go into the house. I don't know if other cultures do that, but my family does. And you generally don't want to go outside the house without shoes on. That's just like, it's not even a cultural thing. Like you probably just don't want to go barefooted out there unless it's like, I don't know, you're trying to go to Woodstock or something, you know? So she goes out there barefooted because she's in such a rush to catch up with her family, right? And then, like, as she steps to the house, she's like, no, I actually want to go. And her dad realizes that she doesn't have her shoes on. And then, okay, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but I'm laughing at it because it makes me, well, it's not humorous to me. Well, okay, so he slaps her, right? He slaps her because she realizes that she doesn't have shoes on when she steps out the house because she was in such a rush to catch up with them. And the slap, okay, the slap, hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay, he slapped her. He slapped her so hard that a button came off of her shirt. And I was like, when I'm so sorry. I don't mean to laugh at like a kid getting abused, but like that shit just caught me off guard so horribly that like when that happened, I paused the movie and I was like, I had to do a World Star replay. I'm so sorry, but I had to replay that shit. I was like, let me see that shit again for myself. And that slap was ferocious. I'm so sorry, but it went from like just this really like kind of calming scene where just it wasn't calming because obviously she was like a fit, but like it was very like there was no music or anything, so it felt very, I don't want to say real, but it just felt like I was intruding, you know? And then just it was like this silent moment and it went up and then it was just like this loud ass clap of a slap, and it was just brutal. Like I felt that slap vicariously. Like I felt that shit through the screen. I could literally feel like how that like dry ass hand probably felt on her cheek, and I was just like, God fucking damn. God fucking damn. And then as that girl who got slapped was retelling this story, she was like, yeah, like after that I put an ice pack on it and that shit still stung. And I was like, ooh, I farted. Oop, there's another one. Anyways, but like I literally felt that in my butt. I just farted, so that's probably why. But I felt that. Like my dad didn't, I don't know, actually. I probably shouldn't be admitting to my parents abusing me, but yeah, I did get hit as a kid because I was a fucking badass kid. I'm not going to sit here and say that I was a fucking angel of a kid and I'm probably going to go to heaven. No. The devil probably had his tail like wrapped around my fucking neck at all times as a kid because I was a hellish kid, man. I don't know how my parents didn't throw me in a ditch or kill me as a kid because I talked because I owned a mouth. Like I literally talked because there was a hole in my mouth that allowed me to talk. And I don't know if that was the greatest idea. You know, like I don't think God really thought it through when he was like, I feel like everybody should have a mouth. I feel like with me, he should have thought it through a little bit more and was like, but for you, we should cut off your vocal cords just to be safe. But he didn't do that. He gave me a mouth and a working, voice box. So here I am voicing my thoughts and terrorizing my parents as a kid. And I don't want to say that like beating your kids is justified, but in my case, I was a horrible kid, okay? Like I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, like even though no. I get it. I was putting my parents through the ringer, right? Me and them, we were having WWE matches for real. Like me and my dad were going like fucking I-dubs and like Logan Paul and the fucking, no, I'm kidding. But whatever, okay? Like I'm not gonna sit here and justify abuse to you guys because I don't know where I stand on that. Like obviously it's fucking bad. And I'm not going to do it to my fucking kids. Actually, I'm not going to have kids. But if I have like a pet, I'm not going to hit my pet, right? Because I know it's wrong. But like, I already got hit as a kid. I can't go back in time and fucking be like, don't do that to my parents, right? Like it already happened and I'm going to not sit here and be like, oh, that's good that they did that or that's bad that they did that. They did it, okay? I don't know how else to backtrack that. Like it happened and whatever. But what I'm getting at is that like I related to that because like in that scene you can tell how much the dad just regretted it. Like he didn't have to say, oh, I'm sorry. He didn't have to say shit like that. You can tell by how they animated him that he instantly felt regret. And I liked how the film didn't depict it as like right or wrong. It just happened. You know, like it happened as she stepped out the house and it just happened. And I don't know, I'm kind of feeling conflicted because I did kind of want the dad to apologize, just like to verbalize it. But at the same time, I can understand that doesn't happen in real life because it didn't happen to me. My parents didn't be like, oh, sorry that I hit you like those 8 years ago, you know? Like even then I would be like, I don't give a fuck. Like that happened like 8 years ago. Like you're going to spit in my fucking mouth and I still would not give a shit like a week later. Well, I think I would. I think I would need to sleep it off for like a month, and then I would be, in more cahoots to be okay with it. But what I'm trying to say is like, that slap was ferocious, and I'm probably gonna be thinking about that for the rest of my life. Like this entire movie, I'm probably gonna think about it for like the rest of my life. This movie and that other violin movie I was talking to you about, I need to look up what that fucking movie is. Also, I have like a whole like notes app like compilation of like what I thought about the movies. And if I were to do like a whole video about it, it's probably gonna take like 16 hours because I have a lot of thoughts and none of them are very good, but they are thoughts. And I feel like I've said this before. What is it called? Whisper of the Heart. When I was watching that, I was like, oh my god, this movie is so fucking lame. Like, I don't give a fuck about these fucking kids. And the more I watched, the more I was like gripping my fucking heart and be like, damn you. Like, I don't even know which side is the heart, left or right. I pledge allegiance. I think it was his hand. I pledge allegiance. Yeah, I definitely think it's on this side. Yeah, it's on this side. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Okay, yeah, it's this side. Anyways, but yeah, I was like gripping my fucking heart, being like, stop, bro, just fucking disappear, because I was like, I was rooting for them. I really was. I was in cahoots. Like, I don't remember what the fucking guy's name was. I'm gonna name him like, what's a typical Japanese boy name? Shun. Let's name him Shun. Not just kidding. I don't know his fucking name, so I'm not gonna give him a name. But anyways, the fucking lead boy, I was like, this is it. Like, this is it. Like, I don't even care if it's a man, if it's a girl. Like, if you are trying to like romance me, even to seduce me, like, you gotta watch this movie and follow his blueprint, because this is the guy that I want. This is the individual that I want. This is the girl that I want. And that's all I'm gonna say on that, because like, people are like, oh, I want a guy like Howell. I want a guy like this and that. No, I don't want a guy like that. I want a guy that's like this, because Howell, he's a bitch boy, okay? He's a bitch boy, and you guys can fight me on this. When I say bitch boy, I don't mean that as a derogatory thing. I just mean it as is. He's a bitch. And I don't give a fuck if that's like a bad thing to say, because he just is. He's dramatic, he's emotional, and he's a bitch because of that. But it's not because I hate him. I feel like, I don't know how to explain my like context for bitch, because when I say bitch, I don't mean that as like a derogatory thing or like an offensive thing or like a demeaning thing. I mean it just as like a adjective. It's a bitch thing, you know? What's like a reasonable thing to call a bitch? Like, sometimes I'd be like crying. No, I don't cry at shit. Like, sometimes I'd be crying at like Vocaloid like songs. And that's a bitch thing to do, but it's not a bad thing to do, you know? Like, it's like me, I like my bitch move. A bitch. No, what the fuck am I trying to word? Anyways, but yeah, Howell's a bitch boy. And like, it's not a bad thing to be a bitch boy. Like, I'm a bitch boy, most definitely. Like, me and Howell, we're like the same person. Like, I literally have meltdowns over the worst things. And like, I literally, like, whenever I look like ugly, like, I'm not leaving the house. Like, obviously I'm recording this right now because I think I'm like the most sexy thing ever, right? But like, normally when I'm off camera and I look like this, I'm not leaving the house. And every time a minor change happens to me that like fucks with my appearance, that's it. Like, you guys are not gonna hear from me. I'm probably in a car, garage closed, gas on. Like, that's it. But you guys didn't hear that from me, okay? Anyways, but yeah, me and Howell are very same in that regard. And yeah, you know, like, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get off track. What was I talking about? Only Yesterday. Yeah, right. I would definitely recommend that movie if you're like me and you can watch shit like fast. Like, I was still able to be like invested and like understand the story pretty coherently at 1.5 speed. And I don't want to say this because I found the movie like boring to speed it up. It's just like, it could benefit from a little juice, you know, from a little caffeinated. But yeah, overall, I thought the story was a really cute story. It's like very modern, because I feel like, actually, this movie was made in like 1991, so I don't want to say it's like modern, like 2000s modern, but like, it's modern. Hold on, I want some milk. Sorry, I'm like talking too goddamn much, and like the only thing that we have is milk. I know, like, my family does not have juice. Like, I cannot remember like the last time my family had anything other than milk and like beer in the fucking fridge, because that's all we have, except for like Coke Zero, but that's in my fridge. Oh my god. I cannot believe how fucking thirsty I was. Oh my god. Let me just dab off the "you got milk" stash on my fucking face. But anyways, what else do I have to say about the movie? I thought it was really cute about, well, it wasn't really cute, but I found it like super like relatable about that like period talk thing, because I was like, that reminds me, when I was a fucking kid, right? We had sex ed in the 4th grade, which wasn't that far away from like when this movie was depicting sex ed. Because she was in 5th grade and I was in 4th grade. I obviously got like more education. I think I got like another sex ed class in like 7th or 6th grade. So, but like 4th grade was when we got like introduced to some of the topics. And I remember like being in one of those classes, and like when we got out of it, this girl, she was like, "Have you used all 3 of your holes?" And I was like, 3? I was like, what do you mean by 3? Like, both me and my friends were like, 3? And she's like, yeah, the pee hole, the vagina, and the butthole. I'm like, don't pee come out. I was like, don't pee come out the vagina? And she was like, Quinn, were you not listening? Like, we have a pee hole. And I was like, we have a pee hole? I was like, no fucking way. And then she was like, yeah, you were definitely not listening. So that's like, I learned from that girl that we had 3 holes. When I say we, I mean like people with vaginas and a butthole. Some people aren't born with buttholes, and some people aren't born with vaginas. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at is, for the longest time, well, until 4th grade, I thought that I was peeing out my fucking vagina, which I still kind of think I do. Well, I don't like consciously like think about it where I'm like, oh, pee is about to come out of my pee hole. I think, oh, I'm about to pee from my pussy, you know? So, I mean, in that way, I guess I kind of have in my mind that I only have like 2 holes, but like in actuality, I have 3 holes, but I don't really put in the pee hole. Does that make sense? Anyways, but I remember this one time we were like in class, and like I think I was eating like a Tootsie Pop. And one of the girls, they were like, oh my god, you're eating something that comes out the 3rd hole. And like this time, I clocked it. I actually remembered, because I was like, and I put that Tootsie Pop down real fast. Yeah, well, I still ate it when everyone looked away, but like, you know, it's. Anyways, I don't know why I brought that. Oh yeah, period talk. But yeah, when like the boys were like teasing the girls about like, oh look, it's period girl. I was like, yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Whenever I was on my, well, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes even when I wasn't on my period, I would just say I was on my period as a kid just so I can get out of things. I don't really do that now because everybody knows I don't get periods. Just cause like I just alter my biology just to not have periods. Not like medically, just mentally. You know, I just mentally told my body to stop making periods, and it happened. So there we are. Anyways, but yeah, as a kid, my family would be like, oh, Quinn, let's go out to go swim. Or like, oh, Quinn, let's go out to eat dinner. I'm like, I can't. I'm on my period. Knowing very damn well there was no blood coming out of that cooch. But, you know, and then there were days where I would actually be in my period, and I would be like, oh, I can't do this. And then they'd be like, and my cousins would be like, oh, what a period, bitch. And I'm like, I see. Just because I am a female race, you think you can do this to me. One time I was wearing a red shirt, right? And I said I was on my period to my cousins. They were like, oh, it's probably because you bled over that fucking shirt that is red. Arms around their neck, man. If only I was in 5'1", stuck in this fucking midget body, I could have killed them. But alas. But yeah, that topic definitely resonated with me as a female. Yeah, I don't think I could relate to that crush bullshit though. I don't think I've ever had a boy have a crush on me. If they did, it was like for jokes. Like, you guys ever be like, I don't know, I think I was an ugly kid. I don't really know if I was like, I don't know how I was perceived at school, right? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's this and that. Like, I don't give a fuck. I know I was probably like the weird kid, but I don't give a fuck at that point either, because it's high school, it's not elementary school. But most of the time, the only times I would like remember like someone like saying they had a crush on me was like as a joke. They'd be like, oh, that person has a crush on you, and then everyone would start laughing. But it wasn't like the type of laughing where it's like, oh, they know it's real. It's like, oh, like that can't be, like, stop fucking around, like, let's stop joking. Like, even in my messed up brain, I knew that was like not a thing. Like, it could be real, it couldn't be real. Like, it was years ago. I'm not gonna like sit here and tell you what is and what isn't. Like, it just happened, right? But yeah, so I mean, that's the only time like that's ever happened to me. And like in the movie, like Miss Girl, she was roping. She was roping. On God, she had like 3 boys like wrapped around her orbit. Well, not 3. I don't know about 3, but at least 2. Like the dirty boy and baseball boy, and then maybe the dude that like drank her milk, or like when she was drinking his milk. I don't mean that as don't think like that. Okay, they're in 5th grade. Like, it's just like they had this rule where like they can only have one thing on the trays. And he doesn't like milk, so she was like, I'll drink your milk. And he was like, for real? Okay. I don't understand it because I'm drinking milk right. Oh, don't mind the spoon. Milk. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about. I don't really give a fuck if people think I'm weird for drinking milk, just straight up. I love milk. It's just like any type of milk. Soy milk, almond milk, cow's milk. Actually, cow's milk is like one of those things where it's like, if it's there, I'll drink it. Like, obviously it's there right now, so I'm drinking it. But like, normally I just like soy milk or almond. Not almond a lot. Like, I don't really like almond, but I'll drink almond. Mostly I'm a soy boy. You know, I really like that soy business. I like oat, but oat is kind of expensive, so I just don't buy oat milk like at all. Kind of want a banana. I know these are like, I don't know, they're not like bright, but yeah. I like it when they're like dangerously dark. Like, that's fun. Like, I like it when they're like fermented dark. So good. But these are like okay for now. Anyways, but yeah, I really like the dynamics between the sisters. I've never really had sisters, so I can't really like say if it's like agreeable, like realistic, because I don't know. But like, yeah, if I was the sisters, I would have dunked the shit out of her. I'm gonna be honest with you. I fucking hate kids, so like would have not stood against me. But like, you know what? One of the sisters was a little fruity because one of the girls was like, "Oh, one of my sisters is obsessed with this actress," and I was like that girl had a whole picture of this actress and was like staring at it, and I was like, I've never done that with anyone except for Zayn Malik. And Lord knows how I fucked with the Zayn. He's a married man right now with a kid. But this is back when he didn't have he didn't have a woman in his life other than his mother and sisters. Anyways, but yeah, I thought that was cute, the relationship. Well, not cute, but like, ow. I got insight. Bananas really don't taste how you think bananas would taste. Look at how messed up I put up my hair. Like, I just pulled up my hair and I was like, yeah, this is gas. Lies. I'm trying to think of like what else I remember from the movie other than that fucking slap. She said something about fractions, and oh my god, like, I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. Because at first I was like, I know how to do fractions, but then I was like, you nearly did not pass algebra. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because she was talking about how like fractions, like people who know how to do fractions already know how to like live their lives. And I was like, but I don't know how to do fractions. And like, she was like, and then she was explaining, she's like, I've never been good with fractions, and like, I just don't know what to do with my life. I always felt like empty. And I was like, hold on a goddamn minute. and like some stars were aligning. Okay, some stitches were made. Okay, like some parts were being glued together, like some parts were being soldered together, like fused together, but how everything was making sense. I was like, now, if I were to be a more competent person, perhaps someone with more passion and ambition, could I be able to reverse fractions and do math without having to cry and wanting to literally off myself every single time I look at a fucking fraction? Now that is a question I ask myself quite a bit, but it's not a question I like to ask myself because I don't like thinking about math or having to think about not thinking to do math. Yeah. Because she was onto something. I don't know what, but I like that. What else? This banana kind of tastes like a cucumber. Man, COVID got these fucking bananas tasting like cucumbers. But yeah, I related, like, I like the dad because he reminded me of like my dad quite a bit, because like he was like before that, he was like, before the slap, there was like a few other scenes with him in it, and he just seemed like a really quiet dude that was like fairly strict and like, but like just like a fatherly strict, you know? And like he would still like buy shit for his daughter. Like he bought her a fucking pineapple, which was like apparently an exotic fruit. Like I imagine it's kind of like a dragon fruit for me, or like a durian, or like jackfruit for my household, because those things, like, you don't come across that in Minnesota. Like you don't come across like a fucking durian and buttfuck of nowhere in Minnesota, you know? Well, not buttfuck nowhere. Like I live in a city, but like in Minnesota, like you don't come across that shit. But when you do, it's like wow, this is cause for a celebration. But like, yeah, like obviously the dad does care about his daughters, but like it's just like repressed adult emotions, you know? Like what the fuck am I supposed to do about that? But yeah, that's how my dad is. Like he's kind of weird, dude. Like the other day, like he knows, like, okay, let me just explain this. Like I am beyond being a milk lover, I am an oatmeal lover. I love oatmeal. My dad, he like buys these like packets from Aldi's, like the, you know, the prepared like packets of oatmeal, like, and it has like multiple different flavors. Like he buys like a 10-pack one where it has like 10 little packets in there, and like I go through those like by a week. Like by a week, them shits are gone. Like by 3 days, them shits are gone. Because I love oatmeal. And like the thing with these packets are like, they are kind of small. Like the more I eat oatmeal, I'm like, goddamn, like I'm gonna make these with 2 packets, because like at this point there's no reason for me to like finish 1 packet and want another packet. So I make 2 packets at the same time, and it's like these, like who portions these? Like these are made for a fucking child. But anyways, but like I love them, and my dad buys me like these like boxes all the time, and I just be munching through them, okay? And like he's been buying them for me ever since I came back from college. And like I recently went to Aldi's myself to buy some just like quick baking oats, because I've been making a lot of lace cookies, and I was looking at this oatmeal lace cookie recipe, and I also like to make crisps, like apple crisp, or like banana crisp. I like it's like a cobbler, but like not, I don't know how to explain it, but like it requires oats, and I was like, I don't want to keep on using these packets to make like these desserts, you know? I just want to buy some quick oats just to have for baking needs. And when I was like putting it into the pantry, my dad was behind me, and he almost looked so hurt when I brought out the fucking like it comes in like a canister, right? And like he looked so hurt when I brought that out. He's like, you don't like the bags? He pointed at the boxes that he bought for me, and he's like, you don't like those? And I was like, no, for real. I felt his hurt like radiating. Like he was hurt that he he was like so like hurt that he thought that I didn't like the shit that he bought for him. So I was like, I reassured him. I reassured his manlyhood. I was like, no, Dad, like I love that shit, right? I just bought this for a baking need. And he was like, oh. Good daughter right there, man. Good daughter of the year. Shit. 2 days before fucking Father's Day and I'm out here. That's right. That's right. Yeah, you know, like it's just that type of shit where it's just like obviously like the dad loves his family, but it's just like, you know, like family isn't always like, oh, they're constantly loving each other or constantly hating each other. It's like a mix between each. And it was kind of refreshing seeing this type of family because it resembled my family quite a bit without the siblings or the grandma. It was just like if you've watched that movie, like just imagine that, but like no family dinners or family outings or family interactions. Well, this is me as a kid, okay? Like, as a kid, I never went out with my parents. I never did anything with my parents. Like, I literally did not even know my parents. Like, if people asked me what their name was, I could not tell you what their name was. If they asked me what their phone number was, I could not tell you that. If they asked me if I had a grandpa or grandma or grandpa, I could not tell you that either. Like, I knew nothing about my family. I was just watching, like, Naruto or something. I knew more about Sasuke's family than my own family. Let me just say that. Like, I probably knew more about Sakura's family, too. So, there's that, too. I was a Sasuke a Sasuke and Sakura shipper, if you couldn't tell. That was my OTP for, like, a year. Like, okay, you guys, this is confidential information, and I think it's because I'm feeling sentimental that I'm telling you this, but I used to watch, like, I don't know if I can explain this to people who haven't seen it, but they're literally just, like, slideshows of, like, fan art that people did with like cheesy 2000s pop, like romance music in the background. Like I would be listening to like fucking Chris Brown and like just seeing like Sasuke and Naruto. that's me now, okay? But like back then I was a diehard Saku shipper. I think that's what it was. And I like if anybody said anything bad about those two, like they would have heard from me, man. But yeah, it was just like those, like it was like a yeah, it was just like a slideshow of like fan art of like Sasuke and like Sakura just like fucking like doing Sasuke and Sakura things. Like they'd be kissing sometimes, or they'd be like that one scene where Sasuke is leaving the village for the first time. And like Sakura's like trying to stop him, be like, you're better than this. And he's just like, you don't know me. And the shit, I don't know what the fuck the actual scene was. I don't think I even watched that far. I remember just watching those two and be like, those two would look good together. Because the Sakura was a self-insert for me, and I had the hots for Sasuke, obviously. So yeah, I don't know how to explain that other than that's just how it is. But yeah, and then one day my dad caught me watching that shit, and like this was one of the more steamier videos that I would watch. It was just one where they were kissing a lot, and like, you know, like Sakura would be in like a bra or something, or like Sasuke would have his shirt off, and it would be like almost sex but not nearly sex, if that makes sense. And I was like what, like 9, 8, 10 watching this stuff, and I remember watching this video so often that I memorized the song. And like one time I was literally in the bathroom like brushing my teeth, and my dad was using the iPad that I was watching the videos on, and I forgot to switch the accounts, and my dad clicked on the video, and I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth, and I remember hearing the song, and I instantly knew what the fuck he was watching. And I put down the toothbrush, and I was like, I put down the toothbrush, opened the fucking door, and I grabbed the iPad and was like, I was like, I don't know what that is. And I don't remember the rest of it. I think I blacked that out, but I will tell you this. I cleared my history after that. After that, I made sure to quadruple check that I cleared my history, or like I switched the account or something, because oh my god, that was traumatic. And it was like, it's probably another Chris Brown song that literally traumatized me. And yeah, so that's my story about Saku, being a stripper back in the day. What does that have to do with anything? I don't know where that tangent came from, but I will tell you guys a little bit more, because now I'm actually kind of interested in telling the story. So like, before Saku, I think I was really into like this show called like, I don't know if it was before or after. I think it was around the same time, actually. Okay, so around the same time, I was watching this show called like Looney Tunes, like Unlimited. It was like a spin-off of like the fucking Looney Tunes, but they're like superheroes or something like that. And I thought that Lola Bunny and Bugs Bunny looked super good together, and I may have shipped them. Okay, I think that was probably one of my first like ships before Sakura and Sasuke. So yeah, this was antecedent before Saku. So yeah, I was a furry before becoming a weeb, which give or take. And one of the first fan fictions I ever wrote were on like notepads. We're on like those spiral pads, and I hate to tell you guys this, but my grandma learned English from reading those things. Because when I wrote them in these like inconspicuous like spiral notepads, right? So this just kind of looked like, you know, like school notepads and just shit that I just would do for schoolwork. And when my grandma moved in, like this is a couple of years later, and I just kind of stored them downstairs where my grandma was staying when she was coming to live in America for a while. And I guess she picked these books up, and one day I came down and I distinctly remember seeing like the cover and like the writing of like, it wasn't like, I don't think I named it like fucking Bugs Bunny X Lola fanfiction, but it was something where I instantly could recognize that like it was my fanfiction that I wrote, and it was like a honker, bro. Like I literally filled out the entire fucking like thing full of like Bugs Bunny and Lola fanfiction, and it was like the worst fanfiction. Like I can literally tell you the plot of it, but I'm not going to. And I think I might still have it, which is the worst part to me, because no, I'm not even going to go look for it, because right now, because I'm 19, right? Like that's not something a normal 19-year-old would do. But yeah, so when I wrote that fan fiction, I didn't expect someone to learn English from it, but my grandma did, and she would ask me about it, which was not often, but it was more than enough for me to kind of not want to look her in the eye. You know, like I never really made eye contact with my grandma, because I wasn't sure she understood the content of what I wrote in there. Like there wasn't any sex, but it was kind of weird, because like, I don't know, like it kind of feels weird to have your grandma read fan fiction about Bugs Bunny and Lola, like, you know, like fucking on a beach together, or like going to cheerleading practice. You know, like it's just not something that you would normally do. And like Lola was definitely a self-insert. I don't want to say that after saying that Sakura was a self-insert, but there it was. Okay, like it was either me simping over Lola Bunny to the point where I wanted to be her, or it was like me wanting to fuck Bugs Bunny, which is probably the worst outcome of this. Someone could pretend that I had the hots for Lola, okay? So there's that. I don't know, take that as you will. This probably, I was gonna go take it to I was gonna take this information to the grave, but now that I'm saying it out loud, it's not that serious. You know, like, so what if my grandma learned English from my Bugs Bunny and Lola fanfiction? But yeah, I did the same thing with those two, as I did with Sakura and Sakura. Whatever, Sakura and Sasuke. I watched those slideshow videos on YouTube, and I remember distinctly one time I was watching this with my cousin in bed, and she was like much older than me. She was actually like in her 20s, and I was just like in bed watching that shit, and she was telling me like, oh, this song is just too sexual for you. And it was literally just like, Three Grace or something like that. It was like a really cheesy love song, but it had like a little bit, like he was kind of moaning in the mic. It was like those really sensual songs, but like you could tell that it wasn't like anything sexual. It's like, I wanna stand with you by the mountains. It was like that song, and she was like, and then she looked over, and then she looked over at the worst time too, because there was that one picture in that whole entire slideshow music video that had them kissing, and she was like, she gasped. I remember her being like, you shouldn't be watching that stuff, and I'm like, I remember being like so offended. I was like, it's not that bad, like it's not, like I was like defending it, like I was watching like genuine like fucking like BDSM porn, but it was just two bunnies kissing, like furries kissing. It wasn't that fucking bad, but looking back at it now, if I caught one of my younger siblings, like not siblings, I don't have any siblings, but one of my younger like cousins watching that shit, I'd be like, I wouldn't be like, like I would be doing that just to fuck with them, you know? I'd be like, ew, like I would be like, you're watching furry shit, and just like, you know, like chastise them, because I think it's funny to watch them like get embarrassed and like be traumatized by me, like literally like, you know, kink shaming them. But generally I don't think I would like be that like offended. I would just be like, I would probably side eye them if I was like, I'm like, okay, like I kind of like, what's a modern take? Okay, so if I had a younger like cousin that was like watching like fucking Chica X Freddy Fazbear like music videos, I would kind of like look over. This is theoretical. I've never done this. I've never had this like experience. But if it were a thing, I'd probably just be like watching it with them, because I do that a lot. I like watching kids films a lot, but like I don't like telling people. Like I watch My Little Pony and like stuff like that for fun, because it's just mindless stuff to put in the background, you know. And it's not like, and like a lot of the adult stuff, you have to like pay attention. I don't like that shit. So like the other day, like these babies were fucking watching like Coco Melon, and I was more invested than them kids, man. I was leaning over to the fucking iPad. I was like, like I was drinking Hennessy while just being like. But anyways, but yeah, theoretically, if one of my younger cousins were watching Chica and Freddy Fazbear like music videos, I'd just be like, I'd be watching with. I'm not gonna lie to you. But like if I like didn't like this kid, and if I just wanted to watch them and get pissed off at me, I'd be like, ew, and be like, ew, you're so gross, you know. But that's probably why a lot of kids don't like me. But there's that. I don't remember what else was after that. Pokemon. After that was Pokemon. If you guys can remember back to Pokemon Platinum, Dawn. I was obsessed with Dawn. Like she was like my idol. She was my crush. I wanted to be her. Like she was everything that I wanted to be. Like I wanted to change my name to like Platinum, because that was her name. She was like Platinum or Dawn. So I wanted like I don't know how to explain this, but like back in the day, or you can still do this, but like back in the day, like a lot of my cousins were like changing their names to be more Americanized. Like one of my cousins like changed her name to something that could be like more American. Like it's like different from like her Vietnamese name. So she did that, and I was like, okay, swag, maybe I can do that too. And my mom was like, oh, so if you want to like have your name changed, what do you want it to be? And I spent a long time thinking about it, and I was like, Platinum. One day I told my mom in the car, Platinum, and she's like, you know how to spell that? When that's, yeah, so I didn't get the name change. I didn't get the name change, obviously, because like the second I started spelling Platinum, I was like PLATEUIM. My mom was like, oh, really? Can you write that down? I was like, and I was like, okay, never mind. Maybe I'll think about it a little bit more. Can you believe that shit? Like, I wanted a name that I couldn't even fucking spell. Like, that's so irresponsible. I'm so glad my mom didn't, like, ever listen to me, ever. Because, like, my aunts wanted my name to be, like, Jessica or Stephanie or something really easy. But, like, I just never got a name changed. Because Quinn is already pretty American as it is. It was just spelled a little weird, you know? But yeah. But yeah, I really shipped Ash and like Dawn together. And back on YouTube, there were like these like videos, right? Where it was kind of like the slideshow music videos, but it also had text. A little spicy. So basically, it was like these slideshows with like fucking text on them, and it was just like RP. It was like RPing, like role playing, but like I don't even know how to explain it. Because there's really nothing like it's kind of like a visual novel, but without the user interaction. Like it had like every slide, it had like a different reaction on every slide, and it would have like different text. Like it would be like Dawn be like, Ash, what did she do today? And it was just like a still of like a screenshot of her with like a fucking like text being like, Ash, what did she do today? And then Ash would just be like in another screen text, like on another slide, be like, I fucked your mom. And then Dawn would be like, on the next slide, be like, oh my God, or like something like that, right? And when I tell you I got obsessed with like this one series, like there was like 20 parts to it, like probably, and I stayed up all night watching them. Like my internet usage was like unrestricted, so I was going bananas. I was going like communist, like crazy on it, bro. Like when I tell you the communist Vietnamese blood in me was like, this is ours. This is a free for all. Like this is it. I was going bananas, like bananas on it. And I got so mad when the creator like was at a cliffhanger, but the creator was like, I'm sorry guys, like I don't want to make this anymore. Like I'm really old now and I have middle school to look forward to, and I was infuriated, bro. I deleted all the comments I made as a kid, but I still have the same YouTube account as I did as a kid. So there's like some YouTube comments I don't even like know if it's out there. Like it probably is. Like I deleted the ones that I could remember, but like I do not remember if I commented anywhere else. But like I commented so angrily. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, blah, blah, blah. Or some shit like that. And yeah, not my brightest moment, but there was that. And like, girl, when I tell you I shipped Dawn with everybody, I shipped her with everybody, bro. I shipped her with Brock. I shipped her with Gary. Like name every fucking... I probably shipped her with Misty too. Fuck. Like she was just like an all-rounder for me, man. She was just like the everyman trope where she was just homie hopping, not like sexually, just she was just making her rounds, man. But yeah, it was that, and then Sasuke and Sakura, and then after that I learned about Yaoi, and then after that yeah, after that, I don't think I had like any more straight couples, like ever. Like I didn't ship any straight couple up until I actually don't know. I don't really have a lot of hetero ships, I'll be honest with you. Just because I don't find them as compelling. Like I've always found like lesbian and like gay relationships a lot more like complex and a lot more just meaningful. Like I don't know why that is. Like I generally like ship like gay characters together because I just like seeing that as someone myself, you know, as someone as a well, I don't know. I don't really know what I am, but I know for sure that men. Anyways, But yeah, I like seeing that type of stuff. So I cannot remember the last time I had. These bananas are fucking actually so. But yeah, I cannot remember the last time I had a straight ship. Other than that Studio Ghibli like ships, but those aren't really ships. They're just like they happen on screen. I'm sure I had one recently. I'm sure. I'm like 100% sure. I feel like I have. Hawkeye. I forgot the other. Just so you know, I focused on Hawkeye and Roy. Those two, muy bueno, muy fucking bueno. The one dude that died, I forgot his name, Officer Mai or some shit like that, and his wife. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. Oh, Ed and Wendy, is that her name? Wendy, whatever the fuck her name is. You know what? Every couple in Full Metal Alchemist, chef's kiss, chef's fucking kiss. Yeah, that's the only time I remember literally being so dude. When I tell you, I was so invested with Hawkeye and whoever the fucking man it was. Like I was so invested because Hawkeye. When I tell you, she had me on a chokehold, man. Like, I would rewatch it just for her. She is so fucking fine! Who said that? Okay, I'll be honest with you guys. Here's another moment of honesty. I have a thing for, like, white women. Like, it's horrible. Like, Paku Noda from fucking Hunter x Hunter. You guys, like, I don't even know how to tell you guys this, but I had a dream about her. Like she was I consider myself as like someone on the asexual spectrum, but like I literally had dreams about her. Like I literally dreamt about her. Like she was like haunting me, bro. Like not haunting me, she was like sexually haunting me. It was insane. Like she is so fucking fine that she like transported into my dreams. Like I remember like vividly just like seeing her nose in my dreams, and I just jerked awake because I was like, there's no way. I should have stayed asleep so I could see what else she could have done with it. Who said that? Anyways, and another white woman I still am. It's Hawkeye. Miss Riza Hawkeye. She is. Oh, like if it weren't for like her loving Roy, man, me and her would have been like this, man. Would have been like this. But you know, I respect her. I respect her choice. Now, it's whatever. It's whatever. But yeah, those are the only two white women that have a hold on me. I may be lying to you guys there, but I cannot think of any other than that. I just thought of another ship, and you guys are not gonna like them one bit. You guys ever heard of Shugo Chara? Yeah, I used to ship that Amu and the fucking. Okay, Amu in this fucking series, she's like in like 7th grade. She's like, I don't even know how old. She's like 12, like 10, 12. So she's still like elementary. And this cat dude, 16, bro. 16. I recently picked up the series again in my local library, right? And I was reading through, and the second that, I think his name was like Iku. I don't remember what his name was, but like when he was introduced, I was like, this man is in high school, and it's an elementary girl. Like, I was flabbergasted at how I didn't even clock that. I didn't even realize that as a kid. Well, I was a kid, but you know what? I just kind of want to say that that dude chick in the kimono. I don't know. I forgot their name, but that opened my eyes. The butt gender. It really did. Like it opened my eyes so bad when that individual was like, I'm actually a boy. I was like, no way, because if you guys know anything about Shugo Chara, that individual and the main character's love interest, I forgot his name. It's like Sukaba, whatever his fucking name, the blonde boy. So the blonde boy and this individual, the purple hair individual, were like seen as like the it couple. They were like a king and queen. I don't mean this as like to mean any non-binary or like trans folk, but it's just like in this series, it's like canonical that like they're male, like they're biologically male, and they identify as male, but they present as female because of like their clan or something, right? So I don't really know what the specifics of it is, but like when they're like out and about, they like present as male, like they're two fucking charas are like male and female or something. I can't remember, okay, but it's just I don't know how to explain it, but like it blew my mind that like gender could be like that, bro. Like I've never seen anyone that was masculine that was feminine presenting, and it like blew my fucking mind as a kid, and ever since then, wow, okay. But yeah, I don't think I would recommend Super Chara to anybody beyond the age of like 10. Actually, no, I lied. It's a good series. Like, I love the outfits, and I remember like there was like a live action one, and oh my god, I wanted the outfits so bad. They were so cute, and I was like, that's for me. I want that so bad. But yeah. What else was I like heavily like shipping? Like anime wise. Oh my god. I just remembered, but I don't really want to say it because I'm kind of embarrassed now. This is when I was in my yaoi phase, unfortunately. So I'm not gonna say it. Quinn, you can't say it, man. You can't say it. I got into Homestuck, okay? And I had a thing for Solux. It pains me to say this. As an Aries girl, it really does. Because I feel for my girl, Radia. Right? I feel her. Because as an Aries woman, I know what it's like, girl. But there's something about Solux that changed my perception on what kind of man I wanted. Like, if I were to like theoretically, hypothetically, paradoxically, like want a man, Solux might be the blueprint. Anyways, but yeah, I think I shipped like Solux with like. Oh god, please don't tell me I explain like my hots for Solix without like shipping him with anybody except for myself. I may have just explained my hots for Solix without shipping him with anybody. So there's that. Anyways, I think I should like Dave and John. That's a pretty basic ship. Dirk and Jake. Rose and Kanaya. You know, basic ships like that. I didn't really have any out there ships. I think. If I did, don't fact check me. Anyways, I was about to say something else, but then I just totally flanked out. But I feel like this is the time for me to leave because I've hit the 1 hour mark, and I think that indicates that I've been talking way too much, and this is probably gonna land me on a list somewhere. Probably not like the FBI list, but like a list of like do not interacts. Well, there's that. It never said anything in this video that was like offensive, like the fucking me laughing at like a girl, like a kid getting abused by their parents or whatever the fuck, disciplined, whatever the fuck. I don't know how to justify that. I'm not gonna apologize for it because it's just, I don't find abuse funny, but like in this context, like if you guys watch it for yourselves, like it's so jarring that like if you don't have a little like stifled laugh at it yourself, then well, you're a better person than me. I'll give you that award. But yeah, let me know if you guys were also, what kind of ships you guys had as a kid. Any weird ships. I'd be, you know, if it's like My Little Pony ships, keep that to yourselves. I'll be honest with you, because like Fluttershy and Discord, like y'all need to get a grip. Anyways, I don't know what else to say. Watch Studio Ghibli movies if you want to. Pretty good stuff there, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna log out and go scratch my butthole. So